My name is Nikeejs, also known as Nikeejs.
Um, where were you born? Like where?
I was born in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Okay. And when did you come down here?
Well, when I was a baby, my mom and dad moved down to Worthington, Minnesota, and then I pretty much grew up around this area in the Southwest.
Okay. Now your mom's is like a Minnesota chick, and your
Yeah,
dad,
she's from Adrian, Minnesota.
Okay.
And my pops is from Laos.
Okay. And how did they meet?
Well, just hanging out when they were younger. Yep, they both grew up in Worthington too. And then,
So they met in Worthington or met up in the cities?
yeah, they met in Worthington and then they moved to the cities. And then I was born and they moved back.
Okay, cool. Now, so you must like living here.
I love it. There's nothing like home.
What do you like about it? How would you explain
I
this?
love having weather, you know, because I've been to Vegas before too, and they don't have no weather. It's just hot. That's all it is. But up here, you can go fishing and do whatever you want to do. If you're bored in the house, just go outside.
That's good. So, when you were a little kid, were you into music then?
I was into it, but I never thought I would be doing it. You know, it just kind of fell into place with a lot of boredom. You end up getting good at something, and it just happened to be music with me.
And so how did you start? What were you first teaching yourself? Was it instruments? Was it just rapping? Was it?
Well, it started out with my older stepbrother, and he showed me how to do things on the computer with a certain program that we used, and I just never put the mic down ever since. Just kept going.
Wait, what age were you?
I started when I was 14. I'm 26 now, so a good chunk of my life.
And so how have you changed what you do between those years? I'm sure you evolved.
Yeah. Well, I started out like trying to do what other people do, but then just find my own little path and make my own music the way I do it. And it seems to be working. Everybody loves it.
Explain your music. How is it that you do it?
Well, I just write about things that I've been through, or maybe something that I've seen somebody I love go through, you know, and just take their story and use my voice to tell it. That way, you know, if they have a bad day or something, they can play that song and forget about it for a little while.
Can you give me an example of a couple songs, kind of the content of a couple of them?
Well, there's a couple where I talk about, maybe I'll say things about like a relationship or something, and just kind of tell the story through my words, and try to make it, you know, universal for everybody. So even if there's a little part of that song that they can feel, you know, it'll help them.
And so, what do you have going on in the background? Do you guys make all the layers and?
Yeah, I learned how to make my own beats too, and now I'm a rapper / producer kind of. But I like to use, you know, instrumentals that other people make too, so I can blend both together, and then make one big old product that people can enjoy.
Yeah, and you, I don't know, I was like, oh, you use a lot of instruments some rappers wouldn't
Yeah.
use, or sounds of instruments that a lot of people don't use in rap.
I like doing that because then you could just catch the ear of some people that probably wouldn't listen to rap, and be like, you know, this guy's all right.
What are some of the sounds? Like, what are some of the instruments?
I like live instruments, a lot of drums, guitar, and like brass and strings. A normal hip hop beat is just pretty much drum and bass. That gets boring to me, so we gotta get something out of you. You gotta make something to get that out of you. Sometimes it has to be a jazzy kind of beat, maybe a rock kind of beat. But we always end up going back to, you know, a hip hop beat too.
Yeah, the brass and strings is interesting to throw in there.
I love it.
Yeah. What about that sound
I think it just brings it gives me a little bit more of a path to, you know, get that word out. Because certain instruments bring a certain thing out of you. Like if you want to have a little swing party or whatever, you got to have a swing beat. And that way, you know, they could just get down with it and be like, man, I remember that song because it doesn't sound like any other one that we heard.
And what about, how do you think your, what you talk about in your songs, everyone's got their own personal story, but
Yeah.
do you try to, how is it different from, you were telling me the other day on the phone, maybe you wouldn't be, talking about the same things other rappers do.
Yeah. Well, it's because I don't really have that in my life. They talk about money and all their cars and all these girls they go with, and that's not me. I don't like that stuff, so I just try to keep it kind of grown up, talk about situations that, you know, really matter. That stuff don't matter at the end of the day.
What matters?
Just having your family and everybody that loves you be happy and proud of what you do. And let them see that, you know, you started out as a young kid doing all the young kid stuff, but now that you've grown up, your music grows with you.
Yeah, and so do you, this is a somewhat small town.
Yeah, I love small towns because I don't like traffic. And the traffic here is no problem. It's just a couple stoplights and you're good.
And so, like, how does I think, you know, any kind of art can work anywhere, but I
Yeah.
think there's a perception that what you're doing rap in a small Minnesota town.
That's what makes it special because, like, everybody around here that knows that we do music, they love it and see that, you know, it's a positive thing. We're not trying to, like, say that our area is negative, and now we're trying to show you the good parts of it. Because there's negative parts everywhere, but you just got to get out of that and see the good.
Yeah, so you're kind of like, well, I would assume kind of like people know who you are around
Yeah.
because of this, right?
Yeah, I do a lot of stuff around the community too, and just, you know, just go out there and be there to be a part of it, and show them that, you know, it's interesting and I'm interested.
Do people have questions for you when they see you? Like,
Yeah, all the time. They're like, when are you gonna get signed? I'm like, I'm not really worried about that. I'm just having fun and trying to make everything timeless, you know, make music that lasts forever.
cool. So what does it feel like when you're making something? I mean, what is it? What
Well, I don't have none of no kids of my own, but that's what it kind of feels like, you know. When you put a song out there that you really feel is special, you hope that everybody accepts it that way. And they'll take it in and appreciate it like you do. And like the people that come up and talk to me, they'll ask me about a certain song. That way it's kind of cool that I can tell them, you know, the meaning about it or whatever.
How do you do, I mean, where or how do you do lyrics? Do they come to you? Do you sit down and try to write them? Like, how does it work?
Well, if I make the beat, then I try to make that beat, you know, help me tell the story. Put certain instruments in there that'll, like, punctuate that. Or if somebody else makes a beat, I let that beat tell me what to write, you know.
Interesting. So yeah, you always start with the beat first.
Yeah, either that or I'll just run through my notebooks and then try to put my lyrics in a rhythm, you know. That way they can go to the beat when I have the beat and it's ready.
Oh, cool. So you have like kind of a notebook where you just keep notes?
Yeah, there's tons of them. There's just stacks of them.
What do you like? Do you carry them with you? What do you?
They're just in my room sitting there, and then when I get bored, I'll just open one and look through it. And if those lyrics, you know, they catch my mind or catch my eye, and fit to the concept that I'm trying to do, then I'll use those. And if they're not quite right, you know, I'll polish them up and make sure that they go with the beat real well.
Are you the kind of person who likes be like, okay, today was this horrible thing happened to me. I want to write it down right now.
Just like that. It reflects on, like, you know, how you feel. If you're happy, then we write happy songs, and then if we're kind of down, we'll write a down song, or if we want to party, we'll write a party song.
And tell me about the tattoos.
Oh, I got a bunch of them. I just love ink. Everywhere. I got my microphone and my treble clef, Nikeejs, my Minnesota. Some of them aren't finished, but we'll get that done.
This shirt is awesome too.
Yeah. $5 at Walmart. Couldn't
Really?
beat that.
It's like a great design.
Yep.
You know?
I like the speaker over your heart too, and
Yeah,
everything.
it's really clever and it's cool. You know.
I had to get it.
Yeah, I love it. And then you got, okay, tell me about this.
Oh, the teardrop tattoo. My friend passed away while I was in Vegas, and I didn't get to go see his funeral or nothing, so I put him on my face, so when everybody sees that, they see him. He was a good guy, too. We had a lot of fun. Everybody misses him.
What happened to him?
Oh, he got in a car accident, and my other buddies were in there, too, but they're okay.
That's tough, yeah.
Yeah, it was tough, but, you know, we were just remember him and know how awesome he was. He is awesome. He was a good guy. We'll see him again someday.
Yeah. It's so, do you have, you know how people were saying, when are you gonna get signed? Do you have hopes, dreams, goals, or is it just kind of where the day takes you?